Hi everybody, welcome back to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to make some wine. I've had several requests from friends and family members asking how do I make my wine. I've been making wine for years now, and today I thought I'd show you actually how I make it. First off, I want to start out by sanitizing my equipment, and I use the one-step sanitizer. The instructions on my one-step sanitizer is 1 tablespoon of cleaner sanitizer to 1 gallon of hot water. And I'll be back to you as soon as I get done. Hi everybody, I'm back. All the equipment's sanitized and now we're ready to get started. I'm going to start out with 4 gallons of hot water in each of my buckets, and then I'll add my sugar, just get everything adjusted, and then we'll proceed from there. I've got my 4 gallons of hot water and 8 pounds of sugar added. I, on an average, usually go 2 pounds of sugar per gallon of water, especially when I'm using the concentrates. If I'm using the berries, which you can't get at this time of the year, and if you can find them, they're going to be real expensive. So the concentrates work just great, and actually a lot less mess if you ask me. Right now, I just lowered the pH because our water runs about a 7 in hardness. So I put in a tablespoon of the citric acid blend and put it in there, got it all dissolved and mixed up. Now we're going to check the specific gravity, because you want a specific gravity usually between 1.06 and 1.09.
What is the gravity?
That's basically how much sugar and everything is in there. The yeast we're using will yield like 14 to maybe 18% alcohol, and right now we're running at like 1.08.
And what do you want it?
That's right in the zone where I want it. So
Between what and what?
106 and 108.
Okay.
So we're at 108 or 1080. So we're good there. Now I'm going to open up my concentrate. I'm going to do the blackberry first. It's one of my favorites. Well, it's one of everybody's favorites. Smells great. Here we go. Just add it in and mix it up. You got to be careful here because this syrup is really sticky. It smells, oh. Like Cass said before, if we had smell-o-vision, you'd be in heaven. I want to put a little water in here and get all my juice. Now, I use tap water. Some people say, oh, you can't use tap water, oh, you have all kinds of problems. I've been doing it for 10 years and I've had no issues at all with it. So, it's just what I do. If you don't want to use tap water, you can get distilled or spring water, or whatever you want to try. You know, that is where you'll go. And, you know, there's all kinds of different fruit concentrates out there.
Where do you get them from?
I order them on Amazon. Free shipping, they right to your door. You don't have to worry about it. You know, if you don't like blackberry or strawberry, there's raspberry. There's all kinds of different fruit flavors out there. Just you do you. You know, that's all you got to do. We got our concentrate and our sugar water all mixed up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the yeast ready to put in. So what you want to do is you want to get a nice glass. Yeah. About half cup or a cup of your juice. And like I said, I'm using Lalvin EC118 yeast. It's a nice wine yeast. And want to take it, make sure it's started in here.
Does this start making the yeast become alive in there?
Oh, being this is a dry active yeast,
Okay.
this kind of reactivates it. And I'm going to get a little fork here and get it stirred up a little bit, get it mixed in there. And the yeast is going to eat up all the sugars and create your alcohol. So this is going to sit about a half hour. And one thing you want to make sure is the temperature of your wine before you pitch the yeast or put the yeast in is at the highest 90 degrees. You don't want to go any higher because then it's just going to kill off the yeast. Once you do that, we'll come back once everything starts up and I'll show you how I add it, how I aerate the mix and cap it. It's been about a half hour since I put my yeast in to rehydrate, and it's getting rehydrated and it's ready to go into the mix. So this is what it looks like in here. I'm going to put it in, then we're going to mix it all up and then set it aside to let it all ferment and get all happy. And there's that. I did check my temperature. I did that off screen. And we're at 85 degrees, so we're perfect. Now I just want to get my drill and get this aerated. Get some air mixed in there and get everything going. I suggest doing this in the sink or in the bathtub, because if you spill and make a mess, you get it all taken care of. It kind of retains your mess a little bit. So, alright. There, we are all mixed up and hydrated, and now we're just going to cap it, put our airlock on it, and set it to ferment. So he told you it gets everywhere. And this is going to ferment for a week. Then I'll check it. We'll get it topped off with the bubbler and everything once I get it into place.
So now what does the bubbler do?
The bubbler keeps oxygen out.
Okay.
It lets the carbon dioxide come out from the fermentation and gets that out, but doesn't let the oxygen get back in. This will get filled with water to about here and acts as an airlock.
Do you have to keep adding water to that as it ferments?
No, you do have to keep an eye on it because if fermentation gets real violent, it can bubble the water out. So just keep an eye on that and you should be good to go. We're working on our wine today. It's been 2 weeks, fermentation's done, and we're going to check it out. Remember, we started with a 1.080 specific gravity with this wine. And we're going to find out what we got left. We've got a 1.000 specific gravity, which means all of our sugar is done. Okay, so with that being said, we should have about a 12% ABV in our wine when we're all complete. So today I'm just going to take it out of the fermentation bucket, get it into the carboy and get it clearing. Everything I have here has been sanitized, and I'll be back to you once I get it going. Wipe up my mess. We got the siphoning started, and I just want to make sure I clean up my mess because it gets sticky. And I can tell you, it will make a mess too. Alright, we're siphoning down. You know, getting the siphon started can be a pain in the butt. If you ever siphon gasoline, you know, you put the hose in your mouth, start sucking on the hose until your gas, or in this case the wine, starts flowing. They do have different devices you can get to, you know, pump it out and that, but I'm too cheap. I've been doing this for years. So now we've got everything into the carboy that we need. And this is the stuff that is left. This is from the concentrate and from the yeast. When I made it from the pure berries, the sludge on the bottom was usually about 2 inches deep. I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff cleaned up, and I'll be back here in a few minutes. Alright everybody, we've got our wine put into our carboy. Now it's just time to let it clear. I'm going to say probably 2 to 3 weeks. Should be nice and ready, and we'll be ready to bottle it. Any particulates that are floating in there will have settled to the bottom. Then when we bottle it, we'll rack it off the top and get the nice, good, clear wine. Well, it's day before bottling time for the wine. That means it's the day for cleaning, sanitizing all of my bottles. I'm about halfway through my 8 cases, and I just wanted to give you guys a shot. I used my one-step sanitizer and clean my bottles up, dry them up, put them in the boxes, and tomorrow we will start bottling. Is wine bottling day. I've already decanted everything off of the residue. You know, don't want any of this nasty stuff in my wine. So I got it all in here. Getting ready to add my stabilizer. What I like to do is put my stabilizer in a little glass of the wine. Let it all dissolve, then mix it in. And then once that's all done, taken care of, I'll taste it and see if I'm going to sweeten it. I'll be back to you in a few once I get this all dissolved and mixed in. Alright everybody, I've got my stabilizer all dissolved, and we're going to add it in. Give it a stir with my big old spoon.
Where do you get your supplies from?
I get my wine chemicals. I get them at the Menor Brew Supply. Can pick them up at the wineries. You know, most of the places like that have it. Alright, now, special wine tasting glass.
And this is the best part of bottling, because you keep tasting and tasting, and by the end everything tastes really good.
You don't care what it tastes like.
Now you do prefer to make more of a sweeter wine.
All my wines are a sweet wine. I don't like dry wines, so I'm very heavy onto the sweet side. Oh, that's good. I like it just the way it is. Kath, you want to come try it?
Okay. Do I ever turn down wine?
No.
I think it needs to be a little sweeter.
A little sweeter? Okay. On sweetening the wine, basically they go like a 1/4 pound per gallon of wine. So I'm going to weigh up some sugar and I'll be right back. Alright, I measured out 1 1/4 cups of sugar. That's 1/4 of a pound, well, 1/4 of a cup per gallon. So I mixed it in with some wine, just try to make a little bit of a syrup, get it dissolving. Add that in. And bottling day is usually a mess making day. So I've got my towels on the floor, even though I'm still going to have a mess. But it's a fun mess. I really enjoy doing this. Okay, now I'm just going to get my spoon back in there and make sure it's all stirred up.
So if you're just starting out, what approximately would the cost be of all the equipment that you would need? Do you need everything you have here, or could they just start out with...
Well, you need a fermentation bucket to get started on.
Is that like a 5-gallon bucket?
That's this here.
Okay.
You know, before I got this, I just used a 5-gallon bucket with a lid that seals tight.
Like Home Depot has 5-gallon buckets, they food grade.
Yeah, as long, or, you know.
Home Depot has food grade buckets.
Alright, so, you know, wherever you can get a 5-gallon bucket that's clean, and I can't stress that enough, you know, make sure they're clean. Then you'll need a carboy to put it in once it's done fermenting. I couldn't tell you how much I have in winemaking equipment. I've gathered it over the past 30 years.
What are the main things that you just need just to start brewing right out the bat?
5-gallon bucket to get started. You could always, you know, clear it in a 5-gallon bucket, you know, if you don't have the carboy. But you'll need 2 5-gallon buckets. One to start fermenting in, and then drain it off of the sediment and let it start clearing in the other one. 1-gallon jugs, glass jugs, like vinegar jugs, wine jugs, that'll work too. So you can use that.
And maybe go to your local winery and talk to the guy that makes their wine. They're very, very helpful in there. They'll tell you what you need. They'll even give you directions on how to do it if you want to make reds. We don't make reds, we only make sweets here. And you can also buy their bottles there. I find when you buy the bottles there though, they need cleaning. And it's just easier to order them maybe online or go to your
Go to your brew store.
And at the brew store they come in clean, and all you have to do is sanitize them the night before, turn them upside down to dry, and they'll be ready for the next day. And if you have a wine shop, they'll help you there too. It's better, but it needs more.
You want me to double that? Okay. Alright, well, we're going to add more sugar. I'll be back. Alright, so we've got the wine sweetened up. And come around here so I can start filling my bottles.
And how much do you leave for cork?
Oh. A little bit more than that. I usually bottle it to right there. And the cork's going to come into here. That's going to leave a little bit of headspace in there.
And when if you'd like to give these as gifts, you can buy the cork sleeves, and you can also get stickers for like your name. You can print them out yourself on the off of it like a website, and you can have your own brand put on it if you'd like to.
Alright, so we've got our cork. Put it in our corker. Squeeze it down. It compresses the cork. Holds it right in there. Put it on top of your bottle. And boom. This one didn't cork right. Didn't have my cork in right, but you get the idea. And then here's the plastic sleeve that goes down. Covers it up. Finishes it off. Once I get things going, I gotta lube up my corker a little bit. We'll be back once we get all this done. Hi everybody. Well, 5 gallons of blackberry wine, all bottled up. If you like this little series I did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions on winemaking, if I don't know the answer, I know a lot of people who do, so I'll get the answer for you. The only thing I can stress is try it, and by all means make sure everything is sanitized before you start. Again, try it. You might like it. Find a new hobby. Again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon. And remember, you do you.